Hey guys, it's your girl Hyena here, once again for another video. I haven't made one of these in a couple weeks, mainly because I didn't really have any striking opinions on the past few races, except for the last two that just happened. Now, this video is being recorded before the Cup race. Actually, it's a couple hours after the Xfinity race ended, so. Also I have a new angle, so, yeah. And basically I'm here on a rant a little bit. Just a little baby rant. Mainly because I can't be bothered with this format anymore. And I just can't be bothered with anything anymore, so here we go. I'm just gonna present a couple viewpoints, and go on a little bit of a tangent for most of this, as usual. So, I just want to say that just because a driver was the most consistent all year, got consistent finishes, maybe a win here and there, cough cough, Tyler Reddick, doesn't mean that they deserve the championship the most. And in the case of Matt Crafton, he had no wins, even though he was a god at consistency all year. It doesn't mean that he deserved the championship, if that makes any sense to any of you guys. Because just being consistent does not equal championship season to me. And it might to you, but it doesn't to me, and that's where I have an issue with it. Because to me, a consistent season is, oh, that was a good season for you, good job. Consistent season does not equal, oh, here's your big championship trophy, have fun, put this in your trophy case. And I don't know if that's just like me being stupid, but I feel like a driver who's consistent and then has a couple wins to his name is usually a good pick for the championship. But doesn't mean he's the most deserving. As in the Xfinity series with Tyler Reddick, because I don't think that Reddick was the most deserving. And that's honestly just something that I feel like because Bell and Custer were leagues better, not necessarily leagues better, they weren't necessarily like 25 times better. It's not like Bell and Custer up here and Reddick was down here. They were all equal on some form. But I feel like Bell and Custer, you could make a point where they deserved it a little bit more, considering both of them, along with Reddick, would all be moving up to Cup Series next year. And it was Bell and Custer's last chance to get a title, and neither of them did. Custer tried to make a last lap effort, but it didn't really work out. And Bell just kind of, I hate to use this word, but kind of gave up a little bit. Not necessarily gave up, he just didn't have the car for it. And Reddick's car was leagues better than both of their cars. But again, that doesn't necessarily make him the most deserving of the championship. Yeah, he did his job. Yeah, he did what the format wants him to do. But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that he's the most deserving. And I think that if this trend continues, it's going to be another champion that I don't think deserves the championship. The one that comes to mind for Cup Series is Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch hasn't won since Pocono. And he's been consistent-ish. I mean, he's had some solid finishes at some tracks, but he's really just kind of been like the anti-Kyle Busch. And it's not the best way to go into Homestead. With you barely making it in. But, I mean, he made it to Homestead nonetheless, so. But I can't get around I can't get around Crafton's championship. Reddick's, I can deal with Reddick's. I can't necessarily deal with Crafton's. And it's not that I hate Matt Crafton. It's just that I think that any of the other three of the four, Truck Series championship contenders were leagues more deserving of the championship. I'm not particularly a Stuart Friesen fan, but I probably would have been happy for him. And I'm not particularly a Ross Chastain fan either, but I probably would have been happy for him because it makes for a good story having Ross Chastain win the championship. I'm a Brett Moffitt fan. I'll admit it. I probably would have been leagues happier for him. But Matt Crafton, it's not that I hate Matt Crafton, it's just I don't understand. And Matt Crafton just exposed the flaw with everything to do with the series. And I think that's where I can't, or everything to do with the system as far as playoffs. And I can't fault the dude, but I also can't fault the system equationally. Because in every other series, most of the time, because here's the thing, the system was not designed for Trucks or Xfinity series. I feel like those two could have stayed in their, highest points finisher that they've had for years up until NASCAR decided to switch it for both of them. Because those systems worked for what they were doing. Like, you got legitimate champions, and you got champions who weren't necessarily the worst driver, but they also necessarily might not have been the best driver. But you have to realize, this system was entirely built for Cup Series. And in Cup Series, it's led to some good champions, arguably. 2018 and 2015 are questionable at best. But the rest of the champions under this particular format have had some level of reliability to them and some level of credibility to them. But in Xfinity and Trucks, it's not really the case. Sure, you've had guys like William Byron and Tyler Reddick in 2018, as much as we all hate to admit it, that have, shined, but it's not crowning who's actually most deserving of the championship, because that would be Bell or Custer, or that would be Chastain or Moffitt. That would not be Matt Crafton and Tyler Reddick, no matter who you are. So, there's my messy tangent on that. Basically, to sum the entire 7 or so minutes up, just because somebody was a god at consistency and a god at whatever all season long does not automatically make them the most deserving of the championship, and people are going to have their own opinions on who they think was the most deserving, although some are going to show it way more. Yes, Jared, I'm talking to you. And some are just going to kind of be mad about it. It's just, you can't fault either the system or the driver, because the system was built for Cup Series, and that's led to some pretty good products as of recent, besides 2015 and 2018. Excuse me. And it wasn't built for Xfinity or for Truck Series, in my opinion, because those series don't need it. Like, they can crown champions without it, for one. And then for two, you have to have some different rules. Come on, dude. Like, you can't have a one-size-fits-all for all of them, in my opinion. So, what about, this is something that's really only for NASCAR me now. So if you're not on that and you're on, like, different thing, you can ignore the next couple of minutes. I honestly cannot stand when people who are fans of a driver, especially the driver who won whatever that event was that weekend, fans of that particular driver basically shitting on all of the other fans of the drivers who lost that particular event. Or the driver who lost that particular event. This is particularly where the salt thing comes in, that I know a lot of people used on William Byron fans a couple weeks ago, when we were complaining after he got, I think it was either he got eliminated or something, where they just kept putting the salt emoji everywhere. Like, sorry that we're salty because Williams arguably had a better later season than Chase. That's up for debate. That's one example. Another example is when people will basically say that the fans are, like, another example of this is when people call out a fan and say, oh, how mad are you? Or kind of are just like, oh, hey, like, your driver didn't win. And it's kind of just like when they call you salty, when they call you whatever it is. Whenever they call you anything, really. Just because your favorite driver lost. Or they said that you're complaining on it because your driver lost. I'll admit, on Friday night, the major reason why I was complaining so much was because I was still angry over Moffitt not winning the championship. Moffitt deserved that championship. Moffitt or Chastain, really. But you can't say that people are only complaining because their driver didn't win. 99% of the time, that's not the case. Yeah, there's that 1% of fans that's going to be like, Matt Crafton didn't deserve this because blank is better. I never said that Moffitt was better than Crafton. I never said that. Nor did I see really anybody arguing like me that did. I'm just simply stating that I thought that a champion should have at least one win on the season. That's all I said. Is there something wrong with that? Does that suddenly mean I'm complaining just because my driver didn't win? Because I was told that by multiple different people. And I also was just kind of like, consistency matters, but not this much late in the season and all that blah blah blah. Insert my rants here. And it also just sucks because then you kind of are getting, I hate to call it this, but the Chase Elliott fandom treatment. Because Chase fans are often called salty for every reason under the sun, and you're just kind of getting that treatment a little bit. You're also just getting, you're basically just, it's like, why are you doing that? Why? Is there a reason? Or are you just trying to find a way to cause more drama? Or are you just like, only my opinion is right? Like, what is that deal? I don't know. All I know is, pisses me off a little bit. So, yeah. It makes me mad because, like, a lot of people who get called that or get told that actually have some valid opinions. Like the whole William Byron fandom who got called salty, or at least a couple of us, not the entire fandom obviously, but a couple of us got called salty all the time for like a day. Or at least us that voiced opinions and comments and stuff, which is part of the reason Chase fans oftentimes get called toxic, is because, well, when you do stuff like that, you kind of are almost asking to get called toxic, because you're just saying somebody's salty because they thought their driver deserved something more than your driver did. Just want to say, that win is coming. I don't know when. Maybe tomorrow? Maybe next season. Who knows? But that first win, it's coming. I would love, you know what I would love? For William to win tomorrow. Just win the race. It doesn't matter that he won't win the championship. That does not faze me. Just so he gets a win faster than Chase. Or got a cup win faster than Chase. Sorry. But, I also just want to say, like, I oftentimes will just, like, kind of sprout opinions a lot on NA. And I'm not trying to disregard your opinion. I just like arguments. That's why I'm in debate club. It's because I like debating. Both civilly and non-civilly. Come at me. So, if I ever, like, am stating an opinion that's, like, against yours, don't take it personally, please. So, yeah. This has been a messy tangent by Hyena. What else are you expecting? I'm a mess. And I'll see y'all later. Bye!